Hey guys, welcome back to 4K Motoring. I'm Chris, and today we want to talk a little bit about lighting, specifically off-road lighting. Now, what I have behind me is not at all the highest tier of off-road lighting available. This truck sees very light off-roading, a lot of rural roads, and just kind of the occasional off-roading. It's not a high-speed desert runner or anything of that effect. So the lights I have are not nearly the highest tier in terms of color temperature or beam pattern or anything like that. But for the price, I think they are pretty awesome and pretty sufficient. Now, this is partly universal, partly Titan XD specific. Down in the lower grille, I've got the kit from Rough Country made for the Titan XD as far as the brackets go, with a 20-inch light bar LED. And up top on the sport bar on the back, I've got one of their 50-inch light bars that has the DRL series in it. It is one of the black series, so it has the black background, looks pretty cool when it's off, but the top one has the 5-watt LED chips for the main beam, whereas the bottom one has the more conventional 3-watt LEDs. Overall, it makes a really bright scene basically in front of the truck. It is daytime, not something again that I'd use for high-speed desert running, but still a pretty cool option. Now, one of the main things I hope to get from this video, or get into this video, are kind of the beam pattern and overall performance of these lights for the price point. I'll leave links down in the description below so you guys can check out the current pricing for them, but these things are not very expensive as is. I'll let you know kind of how they perform. I'll show you the beam patterns best I can, especially compared to the stock headlights on these trucks, the LED projectors, and I'll also show you a little bit about how I wired them and how specifically the switches look and that sort of thing. So, with these lights on, and I am very much off angle on the truck right now, so I'm not in front of the main beam, and you can see especially how much light output is from that top bar as compared to that bottom one. As far as the switch assembly goes, I ran both of them off the same switch, basically inside the cab. These both have the same wiring harness that comes with them from Rough Country, so at least keep them the same brand. It's very easy to wire these two together. The DRLs on the top did require additional wire. They came with a different switch, but I was able to wire that into the main one. What I have here is just the simple switch that comes with the kit that is cleanly mounted, the wiring all hidden and run behind. Red for off, green for on. And that's simple. Under the hood, we have a little bit of wiring craziness. I had to replace that top LED bar when a little bit of moisture got in it and one of the DRL modules burned out. So since then, I did go back and rewire after I had some issues there. So what it has is basically two relays. Now, if you can see them in there, they're tucked behind this Optima battery, and they're the same type of relays. The harnesses are almost identical, save for the one DRL light. The DRL light is pretty easily able to run through the firewall and into the fuse panel, which is behind this door in here, to an ignition source fuse, so when the truck comes on, they come on. I looked at getting some sort of wiring to the DRLs for the front of the truck itself, but they are module controlled to have high and low settings based off whether the headlight's on or not, and I didn't want to really deal with that and intervene with the computer stuff. So I just went ahead and simply got an ignition-based source. That way I could have, at all times, the DRLs. So now that we're in the truck, we're going to go ahead and drive. I will show you the headlight beam pattern basically from the stock headlights and then with the off-road lights, so you can see the difference that these things provide. Now, admittedly, it's not very dark right now, but it's dark enough you should be able to see the headlights lighting up the road specifically. And one more time, back the other direction. You can see the headlight beam on the wall there. You can see us driving back. And for a paved area, it's really not the worst visibility. And now we're going to hit the button and activate our lights. Let's go ahead for a drive and see how this turns out. And now we can see the difference as those lights hit that wall of dirt there. Well guys, hope you like what you saw there. That's our first little attempt at aerial photography. Hopefully there's a little bit more of that to come. Hopefully that gave you guys a pretty good impression of what these lights actually do as far as their output, their color temperature, and kind of their beam patterns. Like I said, the top one is definitely brighter. It's got 50 inches of 5-watt LEDs. That's a lot of output really for this type of light bar. I'll go ahead and put in the description the exact lumen count for these. It's pretty impressive, I will say. That said, the beam is not specifically super focused. I know the interior lights are a little bit more spot focused and the ones on the outside of the bar are a little bit more flood focused as far as the reflector, but it's not a very big reflector or housing, not like some of the Hella lights or some of the KC lights or some of the rounder lights that might project a lot farther out. For general country driving to kind of aid your normal headlights to increase what high beams are able to offer, man, these things are fantastic. For light off-roading, for things that are not super high speeds, stuff that's just close to you, this puts out a lot of light that really makes everything in front of you kind of feel like daytime. Like I said, I'll have a link in the description below for both of them. The lower light has a Titan specific mounting bracket to it, but otherwise they're just general rough country lights, and personally I think they look pretty good. As always, thanks for watching 4K Motoring. If you haven't hit that subscribe button and like button already, please do that. It helps us out a whole lot. I'm Chris, and we'll see you next time.